All right, I hope you're ready to go deep and go fast. We're gonna go over a lot of stuff here in the remainder of this boot camp, and I'm gonna throw it up at you fast because remember, I'm trying to give you the foundation in a nice condensed manner and put these pieces together to build your own edge and your own strategies. And I'm super excited for you because you're getting years of experience and research here in just a short boot camp. So let's just dive into it. The first thing we want to do is we want to connect to an exchange. So how do you do that? Well, first you have to import CCXT. So you should already have pip installed that in one of the previous, before this video. If you haven't, go ahead and pip install CCXT. And then we want to go ahead and connect to CCXT by, I'll connect to Femex, which is an exchange, and you type in, this is the important part, CCXT dot, and then you pick what exchange you want, and I'm gonna do Femex. Let me go ahead and pull this down a little bit. And then you do these bracket things. And then not all exchanges need this, but I just put it in there no matter what. Enable rate limit, and we set it to true. And then you put API key, and this is where you put your key. It'd look like that. I'm gonna put it in differently, and I'll show you how I do that. Secret is this. And this is your key and your secret. So it doesn't matter what exchange you're using, if you're using Binance or Coinbase or whatever, there's always going to be some sort of connection. And in order to connect, you have to import the package, which in this case is CCXT, and then you have to connect to the exchange and pass in. The most important part is passing in your API keys. Now, I don't pass in my API keys right here because I want to make sure to not share them, and you want to do the same thing. You don't want to share these. So it's totally fine to have them here if this file is not going to be seen by other people. On all exchanges, you're going to be able to find this information somewhere. It's usually under API or whatever. Like Binance, you go to the API section, or Coinbase, the API section, and you can generate an API key and a secret. Now, I want to show you how to do this if you want to import it from a file. So let's call this file key file .py, and I could say something like key equals, and the same type of API key, just like that, and I could say secret equals, and whatever the secret is, and then I save it. And then you can see I named it key file, key underscore file. So let's go here, and you have to import key file like this. And then what you can do is actually, from that key file, you can pull in the information you need. So what information do we need here? We need the key and the secret. So instead of having it posted actually on my file like this, remember the name, it's key file. I imported it up here as key file. I could say something like, if I want to change the name of the import, I could say like as K or something. And then here I can just type in K dot and then key, because it goes into that file and grabs the key. And then I could do K dot secret, just like that. So that's how you import a file that has your secret keys, and then you connect to Femex or whatever exchange you want like this. There should not be a space right there. And this should not be there. So it's comma, comma, secret, just like that. And now you should be able to connect to the exchange. Now, in order for me to do it, I actually have to import the right one. So I have to import don't share config as K. And the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure we're connected to the exchange, right? So you can call all of the functions from CCXT by calling whatever you named it here. So I named CCXT, the connection to my Femex account, I named it Femex. So I can go ahead and see if that is true, or if it connects by saying fetch. And if I type in Femex, then dot, you can see all of the things you can do with this. Like I create a market order, I create a limit order, I can fetch my balance. So let's go ahead and just fetch balance. Because this will, if it works, then it means I'm connected to the exchange and we can move on. No module named don't share config. And that's because my don't share config actually is not in the right folder. So this is a really good example. We need the don't share config to be in this folder. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this off screen really quickly so I'll go ahead and just put key file in as key file. Let me pull this off screen and you can look at this, your edge file. And what I'm gonna do is just pull in my exchange information. And this is, the reason you can't share this information is because if you do, then anybody can get access to all of your funds that are on that exchange. So that's no fun, right? So I'm just about done here. Okay, perfect. So now we can hit fetch balance and it should fetch the balance. Oops, I gotta name it correctly. Pull it back off here. So mine's actually called k.xp key xp secret, and then there we go. So now it should pull in the balance, and you see it didn't do anything. Why? Because you actually have to print the balance. So I could say like, hey, my balance is called that, it's called balance, and I could say print bal. And there you go, you can see my balance. So we are connected, and that's the first thing you gotta do in order to algo trade, is you gotta be able to connect to the exchange, right? So now you know how to connect to the exchange, so let's keep it moving. What else do we wanna go over here? How about making a simple order? Making an order. Well, let's go ahead and pull up, let's see if we can pull up one of our exchanges here. Pull this off over here. And what we want to do is we want to try to connect to Femex and make an order. I want to show you how to do that. Now, I probably have some bots going on in the background, so this might get a little tricky, but that's okay. I'll show you exactly how to do this. To create an order, here we have my Femex account, and let's just go over to BTC USD. You'll have to just get the ticker, and you can see I have a couple orders in here, so this will probably cancel the order after I make it, but all you do is you go Femex.create limit buy order. That could also be a sell order, and then you have to pass in some information. And this information, it's good to learn how to do this because, I don't know, for me it was kind of hard to understand this type of stuff. Passing in, like this is the function that we're calling from Femex. And Femex is actually ran through CCXT. So you have to say like, hey, what symbol do I want to buy? What size do I want to buy? What do I want the bid to be? And what do I have any params? And I'm going to teach you about these params right now because I think it's super important to have right off the bat. But let's go ahead and say, hey, I want the symbol to be BTC, so it's UBTC USD. And you can look in the documentations of FEMEX and CCXC to see what the symbols are. Each exchange might have their own symbol. Let's say size equals 1. That means I want one contract. You'll have to look up the, each exchange has different contract sizes. I think with BTC, it's like, it's not too much money. You'll have to place the bid, and that bid, you'll have to pick the bid. So let's go ahead and see what the current bids are. We could say something like 30,000. And then the params, these are super important. You don't have to use this, and this might, I'll go over this later. I'll go over it now because I like to use it no matter what, but you cannot use it too. You don't have to, this is totally optional. The reason I use it is because it allows me to only make limit orders. And if you don't know what limit orders are, they're pretty much saying, hey, I only want to buy this at this price. So I would pass in these params here, and you can see params, time in force, post only. And now I can create this buy order, and it will buy a size of 1 with a symbol of that. And I could even say, hey, let me know what the order information is. I'll call it order and then print order, and it'll give me the order information back. So this is how you make an order. So this could be a limit order. It could be you can change it to market order. If you change it to market order, you'd remove the bid, but I'm not going to do that. I never use those. I pretty much only use limit orders. Some people like doing market orders, but you just pay more. You could do a limit sell order, do a limit buy order. I'll do a limit buy order, and we'll go ahead and pull up the exchange here so we can see how this works. So I put it at 30,000. It should say one order is submitted on FEMEX. So let's go ahead and run it. You can see I have 2 orders because I have an algo running in the background, but that wasn't it. This should be it. Let's go ahead and run it, and you'll hear a noise. There it is, order submitted. And you can see it submitted that order at 30,000 right here. And then it went ahead and gave me all the information about the order. Just like that. So you can use this information however you please, but that's how you make an order in CCXC. Now, how do you cancel an order? I think that's super important as well because, like, for example, I don't want that order. So let's say cancel order. And then you just do FEMEX.cancel all orders. You could do cancel all orders. I think you need to pass in the symbol here, and then I can just run it, and it should cancel all the orders. So let's test that out. And you see it canceled all the orders. So these are 2 fundamentals that you really need in order to algo trade. So you now know how to make an order, and you know how to cancel an order. What else do we want to show you here in this video? I want to show you how to sleep, because sometimes I'll want to make an order and then sleep for a minute or something. So you'll have to import time. And I'm just showing you all the things that I use the most, right? So go ahead and expand on this. Like I said, I'm trying to give you the fundamentals to fast track you. These fundamentals, go ahead and take them and learn more based off of them. But these are the things that I use every single day, no matter what. And I'm trying to cover all of the fundamentals that I use every day in this boot camp, so you can just fast track this, right? So let's do something like this. Let's create an order. And sorry for that. I should probably I'm just gonna turn off those bots here after this video so they stop interrupting us. But I'm gonna create an order and then I'm gonna sleep for 10 seconds and then I'm gonna cancel that order. So pretty basic, but I use this in a lot of functions. You do time.sleep and then you put in the amount of seconds you want. So 10 seconds is like this. If I wanted 2 minutes, it'd be 120. If I wanted 5 minutes, it'd be 300. These are in seconds. So let's do 10 seconds and then let's cancel the order. So this should make an order, sleep 10 seconds, and you could say something like print just made the order, now sleeping for 10 seconds. And this should create the order and then sleep 10 seconds. So let's run it. Puts in the order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting too fast. It's about to fill the order, but 8, 9, 10. So it says sleeping and then it canceled all the orders. Perfect. So now you know how to sleep in between orders, and this can be useful because sometimes you want to you have your bot going and you want it to sleep after it makes an order and then checks that order to see if it's gone through or it does something else, like whatever. These are the fundamentals, so you can use your brain to make some really cool strategies. And I'll show you some bots here later on, but like I said, don't just like go trust somebody else's strategies. You know, you don't know what their size is, you don't know what their leverage is, you don't know what days they're running it. I want to make sure that you learn everything so you can actually build your own kingdom. You know, I'm giving you the Lego blocks and you just go build. So this is awesome. Then I want to show you how to kind of loop through code. So let's say while go equals true, let's do what we just did. Let's say Phoenix create an order and then time.sleep, and let's sleep 5 seconds this time, and then let's cancel the order. And then we can make a variable called go and set it to true. So this is pretty much saying, hey, while go is true, which it should always be true, I want you to create an order, sleep for 5 seconds, and then cancel all orders. So you heard that? That's an order. And then it's going to sleep for 5 seconds, and then it's going to cancel all the orders. And then it's going to do it again. So, you know, you can probably use that in strategy in some which way. It will just loop, cancel, loop, cancel, loop, cancel. And then if you were doing some cool things like grabbing the bid and the ask, well, then that could be changing the actual order size. So let's go ahead and close that out for now. And what else I want to show you here is I could say like, hey, let's make this a function. Let's call it our bot. And this is what I use a lot actually. I use it pretty much for all of my strategies. But at the end of the strategy, I use this schedule package here. So learn about that. Definitely, it's not too much, but I'll import it like this. You can actually use a comma to import things as well. And pretty much what this says is, I just showed you like where it said while go equals true. Well, this will always be true. While true, try this. Try to run this. Run the pending. And what is the pending? Well, we have to make that. We have to add that to the schedule. So we simply put the schedule there. Let me go ahead and close that Phoenix up, or at least mute it. Mute site. And essentially what this is saying is, hey, every 28 seconds, do this function. And this is our bot. And our bot right now, it creates a buy order, sleeps 5 seconds, and then cancels all orders. So this could be minutes. This could be days, I believe. But in my case, I usually use seconds. And I do it every 28 seconds. You can change this again. And that's why I don't recommend to ever just take somebody else's bot, because, hey, maybe I only run this every 900 seconds. or maybe I run it every 9 seconds. You don't know the variables to other people's stuff, so that's why it's super important, like, to take everything you learn with a grain of salt, right? And use what you can from YouTube videos and even this boot camp. Use the pieces in your own stuff, but you have to fully grasp every piece of your code before you can actually run it with real money, or else you're kind of just gambling. So I love this function because it schedules every X seconds. In this example, I'm gonna schedule it for every 2 seconds. It's gonna run the pending. And if that doesn't work, in my case, I have internet problems sometimes. So I just say, hey, print this. Maybe there's an internet problem. So let's go ahead and try to run this. I'm actually gonna bring the price here down a little bit because I don't actually want to enter a position, and we're getting pretty close to that. So essentially this is gonna, every 2 seconds, it's gonna run. So 1, 2, and now it's gonna probably submit an order. Order submitted, as you can see, and then it's gonna wait 5 seconds and then cancel all orders, all 3 canceled orders, because I have a bot that's running. And then it runs again, it buys. So you can imagine how useful this is, because essentially when I first got started, and I swear I spent the first couple months doing it this way, where I would let it run, I would run my code, and then if it stopped running for any reason, like it broke, I would have to get up, and if I was sleeping, I'd have to start it over again. Now this simple piece of code essentially says, hey, if there's an error, while you're sleeping or whatever, we'll just wait 30 seconds and try again later. And it will never stop, because it will just be like, okay, well, if there's an error for the next 5 hours, well, we're just going to continue to sleep, but we're going to keep trying. So this is one of the really super useful piece of code that I use, and we'll use it pretty much in every strategy that I make. So I look forward to continuing this, and I really, really, really want to emphasize that this is a game of taking shots. So you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Let's watch this video just one more time, because I love it.
Your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be.
Best algo trader you can be.
To do that, you have to practice, you have to train.
You gotta practice.
You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training at 6. Train from 6 to 8. Right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions. Right? Now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? Relax, and now it's done, you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4.
You just can't compete. You just can't compete if you just go harder than the next guy. I know you're a hard worker already. You're here. You're in this boot camp. I'm proud of you. Just keep swimming, keep learning, and we'll jump on to the next video. All right, I'll see you there.